everyone, and thanks for starting your Sunday morning here with us on Weekends with Whitney. Coming up in this morning's show, meet some incredible athletes who are serving up great tennis and inspiration at the same time. The world's top wheelchair tennis players are in Baton Rouge right now for this top-tier tournament. Spring is here, and so are the honeybees, why backyard beekeeping is all the buzz. Plus, Susan Ford-Bales, daughter of our 38th president, shares her family's struggle with alcoholism and gives hopes and tips to those battling it in Baton Rouge. And your Sunday sizzle, shrimp Creole from La Creole. Chef Chance shows us his secrets and shares the delicious recipe. But first, we serve up some amazing tennis. For the 26th year, the Cajun Classic has been one of the premier wheelchair tennis tournaments in the country, and it's right here in Baton Rouge. Well, this year, it's the biggest ever. 130 players from 18 countries and 29 states are all here competing for big prize money and big national ranking points. Dana Mathewson has a powerful serve, a fierce forehand, and a beautiful backhand. That she does all of that on wheels makes it extraordinary.
Because when you come out here, you're just like everybody else, and the chair doesn't matter. It's kind of like a common denominator in a way. And so, you know, it doesn't matter how disabled you are, you can come out here and blow someone that's less disabled than you out of the water. And so that's what I love about this. Yeah. So It gives you your sense of independence back, and I think that's really invaluable.
Dana was just 10 years old, running sprints at soccer practice when a rare autoimmune disease attacked her spinal cord.
My back started to go into extreme pain, like someone was hurting me or stabbing me or something that catastrophic. And then I'd say in about 20 minutes I was completely paralyzed. And they still don't know why it happens because it's so rare. I forget the stat, but it's like 5 in a million people or something crazy.
3 years later, her mom enrolled her in a tennis camp Dan James with the United States Tennis Association was serving up.
My mom literally dragged me kicking and screaming to a camp that Dan was at, and they taught me tennis, and I fell in love with it. I'm
amazed. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'm still amazed by the stories. To hear how people arrived at the tennis court and the journey that they took. And it reminds you that whether you have a disability or not, you're on the same journey. And we see theirs. And so now here's a chance for people to come out and be a part of that journey.
To understand just a small part of that journey, Dan invited me to take a swing at wheelchair tennis. First, I warmed up like I always do. Then I got in the wheelchair. Maneuvering was difficult, although it was quick and responsive, much more so than I am. Dan gave me some good coaching tips.
As soon as you hit the ball, you have to push back towards the fence, not backwards. Turn the chair and push.
Like
you
this?
Got it. Yep.
And then use the eyes in the back of my head.
You got it. Those are the best
I'm
ones.
a mother.
Those are the best ones.
But even that didn't make it much easier. Playing tennis without the balance, movement, and agility of your feet was much harder than I thought. That stunk.
I'm just going to ask you how it feels.
Oh, strange.
It does, doesn't it?
But yeah, I don't have the manipulation of the chair, but then you can't get in position, you can't get away from the ball as fast as you would. I don't know how they do that.
It's pretty incredible because you're doing two things at once. For us, we don't think about our feet, we just move to the ball.
Yeah.
For these players, they're hitting and moving with the same appendages. And so doing two things at once, they have less time, it's harder to control, you know, and their athleticism with those challenges is off the charts.
Then Kim gave it a try.
Push, push.
While still difficult, she outperformed me big time. Dana admits it was hard for her too at first, but she stuck with it, and her determination paid off. After just 4 years, she made the World Cup team and traveled the world.
I've been to ones in Italy, England, South Africa, and Turkey. And it's so much more fun because tennis is usually such a quiet sport. But at that one, you're competing for your country, so you get to wear USA on your back, which is such a huge honor.
Dana credits her mom for making her see her ability, not disability.
I'm really thankful she did that because she never let me get away with anything. So I really am thankful for her for that, because I think when you get hurt, it can go one of two ways. Either you adjust to it really well and you keep adapting and living your life, or it can really consume you and you let people help you a little more than they need to.
In many ways, Dana wouldn't change her life even if she could.
And when people ask me, like, if you could take a magic pill and reverse what happened to you, would you do it? And sometimes I'd like to say yes, but then because I've gotten to do things like this to represent my country and to be competitive professionally in a sport and travel the world, I wouldn't take it back for anything. It's a huge honor to be able to do it.
You have to be so inspired by these athletes, right?
You know, inspiration is a really funny word for us because it's inherently inspirational. The choice to move on from a catastrophic accident or from a disability from birth is inspiring.
But Dan reminds me, it's also just really good tennis.
And I think people will be really surprised by the product. They'll come out and want to see wheelchair tennis. They'll leave saying they saw great tennis.
And you're just in time to catch the finals. It's today at the Manship YMCA right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. And coming up next, Susan Ford-Bales. The daughter of our 38th president may have grown up in the White House, but her family's struggles weren't very different from many of ours. Her story right after this.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Susan Ford-Bales spent her teenage years growing up in the White House. But even there, she had to face some serious adult issues. Her mother was an alcoholic, and she had to plan and execute the intervention. This morning, she shares her family's story and their struggles to help Louisianians battling their own. You helped your mother go through the intervention. In fact, you're credited with doing that. That's a lot of, I guess, interventions are what most families struggle with. So how were you able to do that?
Well, I was lucky enough that I had met a doctor who was in recovery. And it was a doctor who was treating me and was also treating my mother. And this is a typical story. I said to him, I have a friend whose mother has this problem, because I couldn't, of course, tell him that it was my mother. And so I went through the whole process and explained to him, and he just looked at me and he said, "You're talking about your mother, aren't you?" And I said, it's like, oh, you know the secret? I mean, you know, this is the family secret. And he goes, so he's the one who introduced me to the concept of an intervention. As I said to the patients earlier this morning, if she would have continued, she would have died from this disease. And, you know, they need to think about that too. If they don't stop using and abusing alcohol and drugs, they will die from this disease. There's a huge group of people who die from this disease.
Did your mother receive the intervention well?
She did receive it well. She first called us monsters and thought we were mean and horrible and everything else. And then she sat and realized, I mean, and an intervention it goes on for hours. It's extremely painful, but we continued to just push and push and push, and we did it with love, and that's the big difference, is telling somebody the problem, but saying it with love. You know, mother, you used to be a na-na-na, but what I want back is the mother that I had in the 50s and 60s and 70s when you were this.
When was the moment when you first thought, my mother has a drinking problem?
Because it's a progressive and chronic disease, it's so hard to pinpoint one moment. It just gets so bad you got to do something. We hit bottom as a family.
What was bottom? Everybody has a different bottom.
Everybody has a different bottom. The bottom was we couldn't protect her anymore. We couldn't cover up for her anymore.
When you look at the Betty Ford Center and how all of that emerged out of what was so hard for you all to identify as a problem in the intervention, how does it make you feel?
Well, it's an amazing place. And when Mother decided to be involved in the Betty Ford Center and accept the fact she did it with Leonard Firestone, her dear, dear friend, she came to all of us kids and she said, you're the ones who are going to have to live on with this place being named after me. And is that going to bother you? And we're like, no, we're just really proud of you that you're willing to put your name on something for a disease that people really don't want to be associated with. And so it's never bothered us. I'm proud to have our family name out there and proud to have her name on it.
Sure. I think that it took it out of the closet and the family shame, and a lot of people, because so famous and former First Lady, it was okay to get treatment, huh?
Well, it is, but it has a long ways to go. There's still so much shame and so much stigma involved. And people just don't want to be associated with it. And that is one of the reasons that I continue to speak out about it, because I'm trying to help with that stigma and try and help with that shame. And drug addicts are wonderful people, loving, wonderful people. And so are alcoholics. And I wish more people realize that.
There's somebody watching this and they're struggling with their own addiction. What words do you have for them?
Don't give up. There are people out there to help you. Go find a friend. Go find a doctor. Go find a doctor who respects Alcoholics Anonymous or Al-Anon. But there are people out there, and if you think you're hiding it, you're not.
Do you have a favorite memory with your father?
Oh, I have many favorite memories. I was Queen Shenandoah Apple Blossom. He crowned me as queen.
Oh.
He spoke at my high school graduation.
He let you, in fact, have a graduation party, didn't he?
He let me have my senior prom at the White House.
There you go. How about the best lesson your mother ever gave you?
Yes, her lessons were be gentle and kind. It's such a tough world out here. And gentle and kind-spirited people are hard to come by and are so needed. And you never know when you're going to need a shoulder to cry on or somebody's going to need your shoulder. So be gentle and kind.
The O'Brien House is a great resource. They say if you have any questions, just give them a call, 344-6345. And coming up next, it is the bee's knees. Local honey has never been more plentiful. We'll show you why next. Discover your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors. With 10,000 square feet of inspired interiors, it's easy to bring beauty home. Create a unique interior that reflects your exterior. Translate what you love into where you live. For 60 years, Dixon Smith has refined the art of style, space, and comfort. You're a work of art. Your home should be too. Embrace your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors in the heart of Baton Rouge. Discover Dixon. This segment brought to you by our friends at Wayne Stabler Companies. Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Did you know that 1/3 of all the food that we eat is made possible because of the honeybee? But they're dying in record numbers. In fact, in the last 30 years, the number of hives in the U.S. has dropped by 50%. And of course, if bees aren't around to pollinate our flowers, our food source could be in jeopardy. And that's why a lot of Louisianians are taking up beekeeping now in their own backyard. When you buzz by to visit Ernie Miller, you'll soon be suited up and making a beeline for the backyard. Back here are Ernie's beehives.
The Department of Agriculture encourages backyard beekeepers actually have a hive in your backyard. And for a home with 1/4 of an acre or less, they allow you to have 2 hives.
Ernie's a newcomer to the beekeeping world. He started just 3 years ago when he retired from Exxon.
I got interested because my garden wasn't doing good and I wanted one hive, to help my garden. Hundreds of dollars later, I got a really, really fun hobby.
When Ernie's friend Stuart came to check out his bees, he wanted a hive too.
It's really fascinating, the bees, and I just wanted my own bees. I wanted to be able to take care of my own livestock, so to speak.
Ernie and Stuart are now known as the Bee Busters, and they work together unbelievably. As we're off to hijack the honey, Stuart's getting the smoker ready. He blows smoke into the hive to keep the bees from stinging us.
Smoking them confuses them, and they're not able to put out their alarm pheromone.
So even though we're all around and in their hive, none of us get stung. Ooh, yeah.
A lot of honey in it. Feel how heavy it is?
This year, Ernie has harvested 17 gallons of honey. That's up 5 gallons from last year. With our honeycomb heist complete, it's back to Ernie's beehive to extract the honey. You can see when the honeycomb is lifted out of the box, the honey doesn't pour out. That's because the bees have capped the honey into the honeycomb. So Ernie uses an electric knife to shave off the top layer of the honeycomb ever so gently to get the honey oozing out. If the heat of the knife seals some of that honey, he uses this cap scratcher to unseal it. Now it's time to extract the rest of his honey from the honeycomb. And today, we get to see their new extractor used for the first time. And here comes that delicious honey. That little bit I ate took 3 honeybees their entire lives to make. Worker bees, which are all female by the way, live only 6 weeks and make a meager 1/10 of 1 teaspoon of honey in their lifetime. So just imagine how many bees it took to fill this up. Tens of thousands. Fortunately for her, the queen bee lives much longer, nearly 5 years. And since she can lay 2,500 eggs a day, there will always be new worker bees coming in to help sustain her hive. During this time with Ernie, I learned what busy as a bee literally means. Honeybees never sleep. From the minute they're born, they're given a job, and those jobs get harder every day. Their wings stroke 200 times per second, and a hive will fly 90,000 miles, which is 3 orbits around the Earth, just to make 2.5 cups of honey. And talk about staying power. Scientists say honeybees have been on the Earth 40 million years. Us modern humans, only 200,000. But something has been mysteriously killing off the honeybee the last 30 years. Scientists don't exactly know what, but suspect pesticides, infection, or mites. Ernie and Stuart are on a quest to help save the honeybee with their hives and helping anyone else who wants to get started.
Just a couple of hives, join the bee club, they lend out the equipment to extract the honey. You don't have to buy any extraction equipment. Just add to the population, get a couple of hives, get yourself some honey. A couple of hives would be good for what, 5 or 6 gallons a year?
You can help by planting things around your home like lantana, hibiscus, sunflowers, orange, magnolia, or plum trees, or herbs like rosemary, sage, thyme, or parsley. And that'll give the world more honey, honeycomb, beeswax for candles, and much, much more. The health benefits of honey are legendary, but probably one of the most important benefits in our area is that it will help with your allergies. But now you have to buy local honey because it is, of course, made from our local flowers, which will help you with your allergy symptoms. And if you're looking for some great local honey, you can always head downtown to the farmers market on Saturday, or a lot of specialty food stores have them as well. And if you would like some information on starting your own beehive, you can call the Louisiana Beekeepers Association. They'd love to help you out. Stay with us. Coming up as Weekends with Whitney continues, find out what Chef Chance Glover is whipping up in the kitchen at Le Creole. It's bound to be delicious right after this.
Give the gift of fine dining. Wayne Stabler Companies is offering 1 card for 4. Le Creole, The Little Village, Stab's Steak and Seafood. 4 sizzling restaurants, 1 card.
Discover your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors. With 10,000 square feet of inspired interiors, it's easy to bring beauty home. Create a unique interior that reflects your exterior. Translate what you love into where you live. For 60 years, Dixon Smith has refined the art of style, space, and comfort. You're a work of art. Your home should be too. Embrace your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors in the heart of Baton Rouge. Discover Dixon. Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. We are in the kitchen with executive chef Chance Glover at the Creole Restaurant, known for their seafood, and 'tis the season, all things seafood. We're all making seafood dishes, and you're going to do a special one today.
Today we're going to do the shrimp Creole dish. It's one of our favorites on our brunch menu.
Shrimp Creole, one of my favorite dishes, and I don't know why I haven't made it in a long time, but I'm sure it'll be better now that I know how you do it.
Oh, well, glad to give you any tips I can.
All right, great. Let's get started.
All right. This is our Creole sauce.
What a perfect beginning to almost anything, right?
Yeah. All right, while we got the Creole sauce going, get a pan hot, put a little bit of olive oil in it. We get 4 of our large shrimp.
Those colossal shrimp that you all have here. Oh, delicious.
And they are beautiful. It's just our mix of Creole seasoning. There's so many options for different kinds of Creole seasoning here in Louisiana. There's really just one way to go.
You're right. And for those of us who, aren't brave enough like you to make our own, yeah, there's plenty on the grocery store shelf. Zatarain's, Tony's, Slap Your Mama. That one always makes you laugh. The name.
Actually, never even used that one before.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I hear a lot about it, so I'd imagine it is.
So what are you doing here?
This I'm just toasting off the bread real quick and get a nice golden sear on it, and then kind of crisp up, give it a little, make a little crusting or toast point.
Okay.
Get some heat going on our sauce again.
Okay.
And be ready to serve.
Oh, great. And this dish sauce first.
Yep. Finish with our house-made potato salad.
Oh, okay.
Put it right in the middle. And our fresh Louisiana popcorn rice.
Okay, I wondered if you were going to do rice in yours or not.
Yep, always.
Always.
Get a nice flat scoop.
Great. And a lot of people put potato salad in their gumbo, certainly.
They do. It's a big traditional New Orleans thing that people like to put potato salad and rice in their gumbo. I agree with it. It gives a little extra acidity, a little extra flavor to it.
Yeah.
2 little toast points.
Ooh, wow.
And we're ready to serve.
It looks perfect. Time to dig in. Oh, I've never had this here.
I'll enjoy.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Your sauce is amazing.
Oh,
wow. It took me a while to eat this. Weekends with Whitney comes back right after this. Or a little bit longer.
At Raising Cane's, we believe in one love, quality chicken finger meals. But creating one love is no simple task. Everything has to be served hot and fresh, not just hot. we use only 100% premium chicken tenderloins, guaranteeing a 0% chance of leftovers. We insist on the best ingredients for our fries, like potatoes. Well, we can keep talking quality, or you can just eat it. Raising Cane's, one love.
Thanks for sharing part of your Sunday with us here on Weekends with Whitney. Remember, you still have time to catch some great tennis. Today, it will be the finals at the Cajun Classic Wheelchair Tennis Tournament. It's all happening at the Maggio YMCA right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Thanks for spending part of your Palm Sunday with me. Hope to see you back here Easter Sunday. Until then, we leave you with this.
I'd like to apologize for Whitney trying to hit the camera and the audience. I know she didn't mean to. With 2-3 months of wheelchair tennis lessons, this won't be an issue. But right now, you would be doing a wheel fault.
Okay.
No cheating. Stay behind the line. Have at it.
Yes, sir. Just hit it. Oh, wow.
Got it. Don't you feel the balance? Nice. Push, push. Jordan. Now you're just showing. That piece of machinery right there is more than the tennis ball, so I would keep it away from that.
I'm glad Kim didn't see me do that. She would kill me.